Action live on Sports Hub every Mondays and Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. and on Saturdays at 2 p.m. right here on High Impact 102.1 FM. Fasten your seatbelt for the most exciting 30 minutes journey into the world of sports, starting now.
Welcome, wherever you are,
on Sports Hub.
And yes, a very good evening to you this evening, and welcome to Sports Hub Show right here from Line Power Radio 102.1 FM. This package, yes, we bring it to you Mondays and Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. And yes, tonight we're excited, we're elated, and it's such a huge, thrilling, ecstatic feeling, people. And yes, European football. Last night we saw a couple of actions. I mean, interesting actions, by the way. Champions League football. There's no better feeling, you agree me on that. And yes, just like I said at the start of the drop down this evening, hold your head and say this prayer along with me. I mean, the God of Harry Maguire, the God of Andre Onana, fight my battle. Because if God fights for you just like he did for Harry Maguire and Onana, then no one is coming close to you. That's the prayer you should pray right now. And then Arsenal, can we say this is the right trajectory for them? Are we saying, yeah, they are, in short for one title this season? I mean, it's been a long time since we saw Arsenal last perform the way they are performing right about now. And then Real Madrid seem to be unplayable, seem to be unstoppable. And here's a couple of Champions League actions still going on right about now. Yeah, scratch that. Barcelona winning 2-1 up against Shakhtar Donetsk right now. Yeah, 90 plus 1 minutes played. And guess what? Ferran Torres on the score sheet alongside Lopez. Yeah, Torres scored an assisted one. What a game that is for Barcelona. And yes, elsewhere, Feyenoord are trashing Lazio 3-1. 86 minutes played already. And a couple of games will be starting by 8 p.m. on the clock, Nigerian time tonight. Celtic will be hosting Atletico Madrid. Newcastle, yeah, they did it the last time out against Paris Saint-Germain. At home, they won 4-1 in that one. Can they do it against Borussia Dortmund again? Back to the Champions League after 20 years. And then they are, matching up with the big boys just like that. Young boys will be hosting Manchester City. And PSG will be hosting AC Milan. RB Leipzig up against Red Star Belgrade. All of this will be starting 8 p.m. Nigerian time tonight. You know how we do it on the Sports Hub Show. We give you to your facts with a lot of facts, and we make sure it is compact. Ayode Jajiboye is my name, and it's such an honor to be your host on the show tonight. And most definitely, my bed is not flying alone. I've got my main man in the studio this evening. Uche, welcome to the show.
Oh, well, it's really, I really appreciate you having me on Sports Hub right on Impact Radio 102.1 FM. It's always good talking sports.
And yes, it's not the only one. But then before I introduce the other person, yes, last night his team, his beloved Arsenal team, because in case you don't know, he's an Arsenal fan. And then Arsenal, they did it against Sevilla. Sevilla right now, they seem to be on the track that they are always on. They just want to make sure they go back to the Europa League. And yes, they are on 2 points at this point in time. Our Arsenal are up above them, and then Arsenal top in that particular group. I mean, well, can we say Arsenal are where they want to be right now?
Well, definitely. I think aside the game which Arsenal lost against Lens, they've been perfect this season. They've been doing so better. I think this is a trajectory Arsenal needs to follow. Arsenal needs to continue winning, and who knows? Probably they could finally get their hands on the Champions League.
Oh, punching above the weight, if you ask me. Not to talk about Arsenal too much, because we still have to go back there. I've still got another man in the studio this evening. Tamilore, welcome on board.
Yeah. I'm feeling very ecstatic about Sports
Hub tonight. I know, yeah, ecstatic about Sports Hub tonight, because yes, what happened? Manchester United had that 1-0 win against FC Copenhagen. Yeah. Well deserved win, but they could have actually done better. Yes, in no ramifications, United could have done better last night. Are we? I want to hear your thoughts. That's what I'm asking you.
Yes, I actually believe that the only people that impressed me yesterday was just Maguire and Onana. Every other person just played. I can't say something specific about every other person, but I was quite impressed with Harry Maguire and Andre Onana, especially that that 90+5 penalty. Because like when I was watching that match, I was on my feet with my hands on my head, and I was like, I just know maybe it will be a scream of joy or a scream of pain. And when I saw that he saved the penalty, I was quite impressed. Yes, that was actually a beautiful moment.
All right, I'll let all of this and many more be talking about in the course of the show. And just in case you're a basketball fan, yes, Nikola Jokic inspires Denver Nuggets to 119-107 win over Los Angeles Lakers. All of this and many more be talking about in the course of the show. Sit back, relax, get your favorite beverage. Can be water, can be tea, can be coffee, and then whatever it is that you like to consume. But then it's the Sports Hub Show, people.
For the best in sports entertainment, tune in to Sports Hub on High Impact 102.1 FM.
Yeah, welcome back to the Sports Hub Show right here from Studio Empire Radio 102.1 FM. Let's start from the home front this evening, and there's the Super Falcons of Nigeria. And yes, they are playing the qualifiers for the Paris Olympics 2024. Don't forget that the last 3 editions of the Olympics we've been missing out, and then this time around we have to settle for a 1-1 draw against Ethiopia. The Lucy ladies, they came out in full force. Well, they are playing at home, so we cannot take that away from them. But then let's not take away the fact that there were some major omissions and some last-minute call-ups for the likes of Demary, for the likes of Oyedineze, and then the likes of Okpeyemi, who actually joined that one, because the likes of Christy Uchebe and then Alimatu Ayinde were actually missing out. But then playing a 1-1 draw, and then with that type of star-studded team, and yeah, in the history of Super Falcons of Nigeria, the Payne sisters actually started the game together this afternoon. And yes, one particular point, we don't have a coach, because there are a lot of things surrounding that coaching system now. Well, we are hearing that around the world draw, because there's a game for his Pittsburgh side who will be playing in the morning today. In United States of America, he's a college coach, so he has an obligation with them, and then it seems to actually take them to heart more than the Super Falcons of Nigeria. But then, just in case you don't know, the Super Falcons were being coached by his assistants today. Yeah, talking about the Nigerian assistants. I mean, playing out a 1-1 draw, and then they'll be playing the next leg in Abuja next week.
Well, it's so unfortunate that at this stage we don't have a permanent. Well, he is the permanent coach, but why should we have a coach that has shared responsibility? We're talking about the Super Falcons. We're talking about the arguably the biggest and the best team in African football when it comes to women African football. I don't think anyone is better than Nigeria. So we should be way bigger than that. We should have a coach that is for us. That's not an excuse. Well, maybe because it's the Olympics, but it's something that is really, really important. But well, we played a 1-1 draw. Yeah. It's not as good score, but it's also an okay score if we are going to be honest. Because female football has really, really grown. We can we can be looking at our other sisters and be thinking maybe they're not good enough because the football has evolved. So for you to go away from home to get a 1-1 draw, that is a good point. So it's just for them to come back to Abuja on Tuesday and make sure they finish the job. That's what's important.
I mean, the most painful part of this is the fact that the NFF are yet to come out to address this. We all just know that, yes, the coach is not going to be there, and the likes of Justin Magudu were the ones who actually took charge of the ladies today, and then Chejeni as well. But
Chejeni,
Austin and Chejeni,
Okay.
So they were the ones who actually took charge of the team today, and well, in my own books, I feel like we should just wait and hear from the NFF. But the fact that they are not coming out to tell us anything right now is a slap on the face of every football fan in the country.
Honestly speaking, I really didn't want to talk much into it because it doesn't make any sense. We should have.
But then he has an obligation to see out his contract, even if the contract will be expiring at the end of this month.
Well, it is true, but we do not know what. I think he had the job before he was collected, so we do not know.
Pittsburgh before
we do not know what the discussion was, what the contract details were. So the very first instance, it's wrong for the NFF to go for a coach who has another obligation.
Another job.
If it was probably for a club that was, that comes for a male club and maybe a male team where that, okay, when they're having club football, there are no country football. It's a different ball game. But when it's a female game, that there could be different club football going on at the time where and African competition is going on, it doesn't make any sense. We are the biggest female team in Africa.
Yes.
We are arguably one of the best teams in the world. With the last FIFA World Cup ranking, we're ranked in the top 20. So that's something that
even right now the rankings are still coming in. I mean, we are still the most valuable team in Africa. Yes, right now Nigeria sits as the most valuable team in the world, because I think we are sitting 10th on that particular log. 10th most valuable team.
Well, that's how why I feel the NFF is wrong in all ramifications. There is no talking about it. You knew for a fact that this man had a job. So there is no talking about it. There are so many amazing coaches out there. So why would you settle for someone who has a job? There are so many coaches who can do the job, and we need to have someone whose allegiance is only with the Super Falcons of Nigeria.
Okay, I mean, away from that now, let's go straight into basketball, and that's talking about European scene before we come back into the king of all sport, talking about football. And yes, the NBA season tipped off last night with a lot of a couple of actions out there. And then let's start with this particular one that happened in Denver, where LeBron James opened his 24th season by being limited to 29 minutes in the Los Angeles Lakers 119-110 loss to the Denver Nuggets. Last night, Lakers coach Darvin Ham said he tapped workload for the 38-year-old superstar as part of the team's plan moving forward. But then we just need to give credence to this man who seemed to never know when to get tired. And I'm talking about Nikola Jokic. Don't forget that he's been the MVP for 2 seasons in a row now, and then he came back again, and then he did exactly what he knows how to do best. Yes, he led the way for Denver Nuggets as defending NBA champions, beat the Los Angeles Lakers 119-107, their opening game of the new season. I mean, we just need to give it to this Denver Nuggets guys at this point in time. LeBron James top scored for the Lakers with 21 points, while Sabia Jokic finished with 29 points, 13 rebounds, and 11 assists, while teammate Jamal Murray added 21 points.
Well, amazing one. Honestly speaking, it's always good to have the NBA back. And well, I really don't have much to say about it, aside the fact that I am always glad to see LeBron James playing at the top level. He's 38 years old,
and then this is his 21st season.
It's quite proven that he still has it in him, which reminds me of an ad which just came out recent. I won't talk about the brand, which he was in a mix with Erling Haaland, where they have their family on it, and you could hear him saying, where the wife saying, actually, it's time for you to prove again that you still have it, for those ones who will doubt you and say you're too old and all that.
According to him, he wants to play with his son.
Yeah, it was even in that ad.
Yeah,
it's time for you to wait for your son to grow so you can play with you. And I really fancy seeing LeBron James. And anytime he's on that pitch, it just reminds me of Cristiano Ronaldo. It's two great people doing it at the biggest stage, at the top level, and they're doing it big time.
Ronaldo, that's the highest you can go.
Ronaldo with 40 games or 43 games so far this season.
And last night he scored with his weak foot as well. He had 2 goals in that particular one.
45 goals or 45 games, 43 goals and 10 assists for 38-year-old man. LeBron James getting the highest points for his team last night.
21 points last night.
It's amazing. It just shows what greatness is all about.
Greatness. And then the great and the cause to never say never. I mean, away from that, let's talk about this particular one that will be coming up. And then there's been a lot of fracas rocking the Philadelphia 76ers, and we need to talk about James Harden. And this man has been proving stubborn for this team, even after getting his, the sum of money he's been clamoring for. That's talking about the $25 million that he was looking to get paid. He got paid sometimes 2 weeks ago, but then he's been missing out in training. But right now, we are hearing that the guy, James Harden, has joined his teammates for practice today ahead of their opener at the Milwaukee tomorrow. Don't forget that he has skipped practice on Monday and missed multiple practice last week and the final preseason game. Harden has been seeking a trade since picking up his $35.6 million player option for a 2023-2024 season, and the Sixers on Friday said Harden was away from the team because of a personal matter. I mean, once you see players, or athletes acting in this manner, you should just know it's time up already. I mean,
I actually agree that it should be time up, because of if players are not disciplined in such a way that no matter the issue, at least there should be certain circumstances that that okay, your presence should be felt. Yes.
I mean, he's one of these big guys. We all know he's been here for a long time, but then this man wants to go to LA Clippers. He wants to go to Los Angeles.
Yeah, and he's already making it quite obvious because
Yeah.
of one thing I've noticed that with athletes is that when they are not interested in a particular club again, they pull stunts like this, which is definitely not right. Yes,
Yeah.
you should make it known that okay, yes, you want to make a move to this particular team,
Yeah.
but not in ways like this. It just shows that you're very, very indisciplined.
And then one thing I know for sure is that as at last month, he came out openly to say that his relationship with the team's manager, that's talking about Mori, that their relationship cannot be repaired. It means everything that's happening between them, they cannot settle it. But then, yeah, we know James Harden has been one of the top players, just like we mentioned, for the past decade. He's won 3 scoring titles and then the 2018 League's MVP award. And last season, he also led the league in assists last season. One player that everyone should look out for, everyone wants him in this particular team, and then a couple of games will be played on October 26th. I was talking about Thursday. No games for tonight, yeah, so you can rest from the 2 opening games that we saw last night. That's talking about the ones between the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles, and then another game that was played, which was between the Devin Brookers, the Phoenix Suns and then Golden State Warriors. Yes, the Phoenix Suns, they won that particular 108 to 104 in San Francisco. 26-year-old scored 32 points and dished out 8 assists, including a pass to Jusuf Nurkic, who secured a layup with 10.3 seconds remaining to secure the win. Former Warrior Kevin Durant scored 18 points for the Suns on his first game back in the Bay Area since he left Golden State in 2019, and Steph Curry was one of the 6 Warriors players to reach double figures, finishing with 27 points, but failed to score on 10 of his 14 3-point attempts. Yes, that sound was right, because right about now we need to get away from the NBA, and go into the ever exciting world of football, the king of all sports. Champions League football is currently on the way, just like we mentioned to you. A couple of games are done and dusted for tonight already. Barcelona won 2-1 up against Shakhtar Donetsk, and Feyenoord there, they thumped Lazio 3-1. Who would have thought? Feyenoord Lazio.
Honestly, I really wouldn't have thought about that. That was a game that it was very, very tidy.
So, for a lot of brothers in the Osu now.
It says it's in the hustle, man. But I get you, a whole lot has been affected. But you know, that's what football is all about. It's unpredictable. Feyenoord, an amazing team. They've been in real form in the Netherlands, doing their best to make sure they stay on top and doing real well. But I wasn't expecting the Lazio to be trashed that way. I was thinking the worst thing which could happen, maybe a 1-goal win for any side, or probably ends at a draw. But that's what football is all about. That's what the Champions League is all about. If you do not come correct, you get beaten.
That particular one, and then other games are currently going to be starting by 8 p.m. Yeah, just like I told you, Barcelona also won 2-1, and then we know how that group is looking like now. It looks like Barcelona are, very well in charge of their particular group right now. Let's just hope that they get out of this particular one and then they move to the next round here.
Well, they didn't the last time, and we saw how and that was really an eye opener for everyone in Barcelona. Like, hey, we can actually get out of the group stage. So, well, we hopefully, for the sake of good football, hopefully Barcelona continue doing like this, so we can see them in the very next stage.
Yes, they're topping their group now. I mean, 9 points from 3 games already. FC Porto is second in that particular group. So
they're definitely going to win their group. That's a given.
Looks like something that is perfected already.
It's a given. They are definitely going to win their group. So, but the thing is, at the round of 16, who are going to be the big boys in the round of 16? That's what make the Champions League great.
Interesting, yeah.
Who are going to be the big boys in the round of 16? Who are going to be the contenders to tackle the big boys? That's what everyone is looking forward to.
Okay, there's a question I want to ask you now. I'll pitch it to Tamilora as well, but I want you to answer me first. Do you think after last night's performance, talking about Manchester United now, do you see them qualifying from their group?
Well, I honestly feel Manchester United will qualify from their group. I've never doubted it, in as much as they had a shaky performance starting, but I've never doubted that they will qualify from their group. I think these things happen in football. This is it was a new era. They had not to deny the fact that Manchester United has had so much problems injury-wise, from their back lines to the midfield. And
United have not had a steady back line for the last 4 or 5 games now. Even let's say throughout
I
this
say
season,
4 or 5 months for the
throughout this
last-
season, they've
for the
not had
last
a
6
steady
months.
backline. There's
Even from-
always a tweak to their backline.
Even from previous season, even from last season, their backline, there's always something missing one way or the other. And I think the greatest loss they had this time around is Martinez. And
Yeah,
he was
the
also the
injury.
greatest loss last season as well. And I think if they
They
can...
caused that for themselves.
Yeah.
They should have let him, come in right the time when he's, fully recovered.
Well, the gaffers, they know better.
Know better.
Yeah,
They know
understandable.
better. So,
Understandable.
well, I wish Manchester United the best of luck. But hey, as an Arsenal fan, if all these clubs do not perform, it's good for me. It's definitely good for me. But at the end of the day, for the love of good football, you need these clubs to perform top notch so that you can get
Damilore,
to
for
watch
you
them.
now, do you think Onana should have celebrated this morning? I mean, the way people are, carrying all of these things like, oh, it was a superhero last night, and then he's looking to be modest by, calling or, saying that Harry Maguire was actually, the man of the match. Yeah, well deserved, but then it was given to Christian Eriksen because he looks like the clip that was actually in the middle of the park last night. But then we still need to talk about United's midfield because it feels like there's nothing there. It's always empty. But the question I'm asking right now is, do you think Andre Nana should have been celebrated?
Should he? No, I don't think he should be celebrated because based on recent performance, I honestly feel that he actually owed us that one. Like he said in his interview, it's his responsibility. That's his job.
Yeah.
And he did it brilliantly. But he should not be celebrated the way he's celebrated because of looking at our next coming fixtures with the likes of
Saturday you guys are playing the
Premier
derby.
League,
Yeah.
the Premier League owners, basically.
So now the Premier League
that's what I actually call them. Manchester City. I
Yeah.
feel that he should just concentrate on that particular game and he should not let this particular penalty enter his head.
Well, for me, I think he deserves all the celebration he can get. Let's be honest here. In as much as it is his job, definitely, it has always been his job. It has always been the striker's job to score goals. Everybody will always do their job. But you stopping the 94th minute penalty
Yeah.
that secured the winner for a match that everyone thought if Manchester United had drawn or even lose,
Lost, yeah.
that if they had lose, that means it has dent their hope of
Yeah.
qualifying from the group stage. That is a stopper that deserves every celebration he gets. Even if he goes to get a save against Manchester City, you won't make him feel bad. It's Manchester City, for goodness sake. What are you saying?
Well,
So I think he deserves all the celebration he gets. You don't save a 94th minute and penalty and don't get celebrated.
I mean, let's talk about this machine boy at Real Madrid right now. Talking about Jude Bellingham. 12 games, 11 goals, 3 assists.
Like you said, he's a machine. Like you said, he's a machine. He's a reincarnation of Haaland, a reincarnation of Cristiano Ronaldo. But this time, a combination of those people in the midfield. And he's still banging in goals. Well, Haaland... Jude Bellingham, I think, is an amazing player, especially with the setup Real Madrid has now, giving him more freedom to come into the box as well as stay in the midfield. Because they're playing without a striker.
A striker, yeah.
So it's like a false 9 thingy, whereby Rodrigo sometimes is coming from the right, sometimes he's standing in the box. But we all know who the goal scorer is. Jude Bellingham is the goal scorer. He comes in from the midfield and he's playing at the false 9. So hey, it's a perfect combo. No one expected it. I think everybody expected the fact that if Jude Bellingham comes, he's going to be the replacement of Toni Kroos or Luka Modric and all that. No
But then
one.
this guy came and made a name for himself.
Yeah.
So different.
But I think real kudos for one thing that people have not done.
Yeah.
Real kudos needs to go to Carlo Ancelotti for actually
The way he's managing
the way he's managing him, trying to play him differently. He didn't play like this in Dortmund, in as much as he did perform in Dortmund, but this was not his style of play.
Yeah.
So this is something different. This is something new, and I think Carlo Ancelotti deserves all the credits he gets.
Wow. I mean, talking about Carlo Ancelotti, everyone knows that, this man, he knows his onions already.
Definitely.
I mean, he just had to come and take that time off at Everton. And then he was just there. And then when the time was right, he had to leave. And then coming to Everton, we are hearing presently, because we are still monitoring that situation. And then we are hearing that they might just be getting 12 points deduction.
Well, I feel that if they actually face the penalty and get a 12-point deduction, because of currently when I checked the EPO table, these people have just 7 points.
7 points, yeah.
Meaning that after the 12
They'll be owing us points.
they're owing Premier League points, and we're not even sure if they are going to get this particular points because of them not being on form. So looking at that 12-point deduction, it's actually going to go bad for them if they don't.
Well, we are mentioning the point, but we should let our listeners know exactly what happened, why they are getting this point deduction. So the Premier League are demanding 12-point deduction as maximum punishment. Maximum emphasis on what? Maximum punishment if Everton are found guilty of breaching financial rules. And then it's important to note that the final decision will be made by an independent commission, and then Everton maintain they have complied with all the rules. For a story like this, there is always going to be some kind of backstory to it. But people are asking, what happened to Manchester City's 115 charges? Because these people right now, they are accused of breaching Premier League profit and sustainability rules after recording heavy financial losses over the last 3 or 4 seasons. Because they actually there's an amount that a team is supposed to be able to to remit, or the level at which your loss should be. So they recorded financial loss of 304 million over a 3-year period, which is well over the permitted amount of 105 million pounds.
Well, it's really crazy. It's football sometimes it's not really only about what's happening on the pitch, but what's happening behind closed doors.
And don't forget that they only lost their chairman last night.
So really sad.
They lost their chairman last night.
Real sad. So I feel this is a bad time for Everton. This is a really bad time for them. And like they said, it's a maximum punishment. The maximum is 12 points. It could be less because maximum is 12. It could be less. So, but I think if they do get the maximum punishment, well, depending on what time of the season it comes, because it might not even come this season, But if it does come this season and they do get the 12 points, I think that will make it certain that Everton will get relegated.
Well, not a good one here if you ask me my own books. But then let's come back to the Champions League matches that will be coming up later tonight. In case you want to be a part of the show tonight, call us in 07001021 1021 07001021 1021, and then you can send us a message on WhatsApp 0907 2245018. Back to talking Champions League football tonight. Just like we mentioned to you, a couple of games are going to be kicking off any minute from now, because we are going to be seeing Manchester City up against Young Boys. I mean, what's your going? I don't want to say that's going to be some kind of easy win for Manchester City, because it's the Champions League, and then we know it can actually offer us anything at any point. But what are you going to be looking for in this particular encounter between Manchester City and Young Boys, Brown?
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing a very good game, but I think Manchester City are going to try to take it a bit lightly. Hey, you have Manchester United at the weekend, so I think that we might get to see a situation whereby.
All your thoughts. Let's take this call. Hello, good evening. Hello, you're live on radio. Your name, where are you calling us from?
Oh, we lost that. Well,
okay. Please do well to call us back. 07001021 Okay.
Well, I feel Manchester City will take it a bit lightly. We might not get to see all the starters at the same time. I want to see a situation where an Alvarez starts the game, because we need to see more of Julian Alvarez playing football. I think he will definitely get a nod tonight, and it's going to be a normal game. I think the worst thing that could happen against Manchester City is a draw. They are going out to get the win, but the worst thing that could happen to them is them getting a draw. I think at best they will still win the game.
Hello, good evening. You're live on radio, Empire Radio, and the Sports Off Show.
Hello.
Hi, welcome to the show. Your name and where you calling us from?
I'm calling from Sabo.
Okay, say what?
I said Tofumi.
Oh, Tofumi, welcome to the show. So Tofumi, can we have your thought on all of what we've been talking about? We've talked about the Champions League, talked about Manchester United, we talked about Arsenal.
Okay.
Okay, let's talk about the games that will be coming up any minute from now. They are kicked off already. Talking about the game between Dortmund and Newcastle United. What are you going to be expecting from that one? Or is it Manchester City up against Young Boys?
I'm expecting that the game will be interesting.
Which of the games,
The Arsenal.
the Arsenal played against Sevilla last night, yeah? Have you been following our stuff for me?
No.
Oh, okay. Please do well to call us back once you get track of what we're talking about. Thank you. Yes, we're still talking about the Champions League and then a couple of games that will be, kicking off right about now. Let's talk about Dortmund up against Newcastle United. That's going to be a massive, massive game for Newcastle and then Eddie Howe, because yes, Eddie Howe right now seems to be getting track of whatever it is that is happening at Newcastle United right now. But then, Newcastle Dortmund.
Well, that one is going to be, I think it's the biggest game for tonight after Paris Saint-Germain and AC Milan, and so it's going to be a very beautiful game to watch. But I really, really tip Newcastle to get this one.
Oh, well, they did it against Paris Saint-Germain, so there's nothing stopping them or against doing it at Dortmund. They are doing it away, at home to Dortmund. Okay, Tamilore.
Well, I believe I think I agree with Uche on this one that Newcastle is going to come out on top because of looking at their home form recently against the likes of PSG. PSG. I think after Real Madrid and Man City, PSG is like the third best club in the world currently. And looking at Newcastle's form, I believe that they are going to
in terms of finance or in terms of what?
I was about to go there, man. What are you talking about?
In terms of finance,
I'm not talking about recent form, but based on having like the most decorated players.
Please! You're just talking about Mbappe, man.
No, not just Mbappe. We have the likes of Kolomwani. We have the likes of Gonzalo Ramos. We have Marcos Asensio.
Oh please, Temilore, I won't agree.
Paris Saint-Germain.
I won't agree with you on this one.
I don't want it to seem like I'm just going to cut us off right about now because we got to go right now. We are out of time already, but then it's always a nice time on the Sports Talk Show. You can always, bet that, but then time here. And then in case you just want us to extend this, you can be a part of us. Just come put your money where your mouth is. Come put some bucks on this particular show, and then we can do it on and on and on. And yes, this will be calling it a wrap on the show this evening. Don't forget a couple of games are underway right now. St. James Park, and then in Switzerland, and then in 4 other European ties. Talk about Real Swap versus Porto. RB Leipzig up against Red Star Belgrade, PSG AC Milan. Young Boys are hosting Manchester City. Newcastle are hosting Borussia Dortmund. Celtic are hosting Atletico Madrid. And yes, we'll be giving you the result of all of these games on the Sports in a Jiffy tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. to 10 minutes on the flip side of that. And yes, from you, Uche.
Well, it's always good talking sports, and I hope the Champions League will live up to its reputation tonight by giving us the very, very best of
2 seconds, football. Kenny. Welcome to the show. 2 seconds. Calvin, welcome to the show. Yeah, welcome.
Welcome. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Welcome to the show. 2 seconds. Okay. You done?
Yeah, so I just hope the Champions League give us good football, and of course I'm hoping that Paris Saint-Germain will try to, prove themselves, as Temilore says, as good as they are, because
they are the best team, yeah.
Well, they have no business being called the best team in the Champions League. I don't even think they are the top 5, or and me being kind, we put them at the top 10. But anyways, I just hope they can live up to expectation. But I see AC Milan doing something amazing today.
Okay, Temilore.
Well, I think for this one, I'm going to actually disagree with Uche, and
we can disagree without disagreeing, so make it fast.
Yeah, I'm actually looking towards a very beautiful game of football tonight. I'm looking at the Newcastle game in particular, because Newcastle, they were in this particular group stage to actually make a statement, and I see them doing it again tonight.
Okay. And yes, from me to you, Ayode Jajiboye is my name. Such a lovely time with you guys on the show tonight. Yeah, amazing time. Join us on Saturday, 2 to 3 p.m. for another edition of the Sports Hub Show, coming to you from Empire Radio 102.1 FM. And yes, from me to you, I will say good night. Stay sporty, stay alive, stay safe out there, people. I will implore you once again to please do stay safe. Good night and bye for now.
Catch the vibe. Feel the energy. We are the Impact of Lagos. High Impact 102.1 FM.
My name na Taiwo Kuka.
My name na Kende Kuka.
We be twins.
We small. Our mama and papa then they joke say now only one pikin then they expect. But not 2 of us them get.
Actually, now me then they expect to. Now she then get as a wolf.
I beg you.
Na me be the golden child.
Anyway, our life be like this Momo 100% recharge bonus. Where we say you go get double of any amount where you recharge.
Go recharge your MTN line now for Momo app or dial star 671 hash now.
Make Momo summer you better bonus.
Download the Momo app now or dial star 671 hash to enjoy. Momo, better pass cash.
Evening radio never sounded better. It's the drop down. 6 p.m. every weekday on High Impact 102.1.
Hi, my name is Olabode.